The sound is good. Okay, good. So if we can turn our attention inward, and welcome every aspect of your experience just as it is. You don't need to know your experience. You don't need to know anything. In just being, because being is not your being. It is God's being. It's universal being. It is the entire realm of existence being. And I am this being, an integral part of this being. It's the same being throughout the entire realm that has no boundaries, no separate beings. So turn your attention to that borderless presence, which is the source of your attention. So in a way, you direct your attention to its source, which is a sort of relaxation, relaxing your body-mind, breathing through your entire experience. Being, not knowing. In this being, not knowing, we are one. All is one. Like the ocean is one. Like the wide open sky is one. Like love and beauty is one. The joy of being. Notice how in presence there is no past and no future. No problems, no worries, nothing that you need to resolve as being, as presence. The mind can come to rest in its source, which is a unified field of being, the unific realm of awareness. In this realm, there are no separate objects, nothing separate. Like right now, in this very moment, there isn't an iota of separation. Everything is flowing, unfolding, without any separation, without any mechanic trying to keep the vehicle on the road. It is all perfect, just as it is. There is nothing that's lacking or nothing that is too much in presence and as presence. Because you are that, you have a direct access to this knowingness, you have direct access to this understanding. No effort is needed. There may be thoughts and images and sensations arising to you. You is this open field of awareness that has no center, no body behind the scene driving it. Whatever arises to you arises within you as you intimately, complete intimacy of being. Like your breath, like the dance of electric fields and atoms and molecules within your body, within the entire realm of your experience. It's complete intimacy, like the intimacy of the paint with the painting. They're not two. Similarly, your experience is that of complete intimacy. The paint and the painting and the screen are one. And there is nothing happening that is of any value, that has any effect upon awareness. It is only in your imagination where you imagine yourself to be somebody to whom or who is being impacted by various events. It is only in your imagination that you experience the imaginary sense of lack and the fear of mortality. But there is no such thing in the realm of truth, in the realm of the natural realm, the realm of the cosmic realm, the universal realm. There's no such thing as something at stake for somebody. And this understanding is available to you because you are that. There's no separation. There isn't a you and a universal order out there. You and the universal order are one. It's one field, like the sun and the sunshine, the light of the sun and the rays of the sun are one. And it is in this understanding, through this understanding of your totality, your wholeness, your globality, your seamless reality. It is through this understanding that the negative emotions have no grip, have no leg to stand on. Negative emotions, they require you to be a separate, limited consciousness, which you have never truly been. So sense deeply into your borderlessness, into the reality of being, which has no beginning, no ending. There's no location, no limitation. It is at the very source of the looking itself that you will find the formless reality of awareness, and the source of perception. so if you have any questions, make sure you unmute yourself. Any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. No questions, but gratitude. And yeah, no need to go into the dead past or something. But there was I was so tired of thinking, or I had the feeling I'm so mentally lazy to, I was so tired of words in a way. And, but something shifted, and I could feel again the light, the beauty, the aliveness, the meaningfulness of the words spoken, always pointing to the silence. So there seem to be two different silences. One is just when the thinking stops, and one is the real silence.
Yes, there is a. One could say that the silence where the thinking stops is sort of the empty silence, and the silence of our true nature being the full silence. That's the way of speaking it. In that the silence of our true nature goes beyond the silence of the mind. Of course, it quiets the mind. It brings the mind to quietude. But the silence of our true nature is vibrant with peace, with love, with beauty, with wisdom. And it's all the infinite potential of, and the infinite expressions of love and beauty and intelligence and freedom and wisdom are within that silence, within the silence of our true nature. So it is not the silence of space, it is the silence that is rich with wisdom, love, beauty, peace, and tranquility, unconditional love and freedom, you see. And the infinite potential of that the potential of that silence is infinite, the infinite potential. It's undisturbable silence, while the silence of the mind can be disturbed by some movement in the mind. The silence of being is undisturbable by absolute undisturbability. That's the Garden of Eden, God's garden. So when we are touched by God's garden, it's God's garden, of course, God's visit, God's appearing and revealing itself to us. It's a revelation that is unforgettable. Even though I don't mean that it's remembered at the mind level, it's unforgettable at the level of our true nature, at the level of truth. So whenever God visits, Before the visit, it's one situation. After the visit, it's a completely different situation. Maybe the mind is slow or to catching on. But in time, the mind catches on because the perfume is too powerful for the mind not to recognize it. That's our true nature. That's what we refer to as our true nature, the reality of being. It's the living manifestation of that in our life and beyond, of course. So there is a teaching that is a teaching from that silence. It is the teaching, in a way, teaching is that silence. It is that silence. And the words are just God's wind blowing through the flute, which is also God's flute.
And then there's this seeming being distracted again, getting lost again. And this is just part of the play.
Yeah, it's a part of the play that goes on diminishing and in diminishing various ways in its frequency, in its amplitude, in its duration. It goes on diminishing like a student of the piano, the errors on some notes, in time they go on diminishing until there is no more piano and there is no more player, there's just the music. Because of the love of music, the student gets a little irritated here and there by those notes that are not coming together, but his or her love for the music surmounts such events, such occurrences. It's not a big deal. It's part of the learning, part of the process, part of the way nature is playing it. Isn't it? Like a baby bird, leave the nest. The parents are watching.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Magdi, this is Frank.
Yes, hello, Frank.
Hey, I'm not on Zoom today because I tried to get on. I couldn't get on. I don't know why. So I'm on my phone. Hope that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So the other day, it's funny. The other day you were talking about. So it was actually what I was going through in my mind, and you talked pretty much. You covered the subject, but I still. This is I have this big fear of death. You were talking about death and talking about mothers and everything. It's funny because my fear now is my mom is 89 and she slowly, getting older and older. Of course, at that age, you just know it's a matter of time.
Yes.
And I have a real fear of that. I have a real fear of losing her. I don't know why, because I know that when people die, in the very least, they're probably not suffering. But yet, I feel like there's something so scary about that prospect of losing somebody so close to me.
Yes.
So is it really important to work this stuff out as far as getting rid of the fear of people dying? Or is it important to feel that pain when somebody dies? Or can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, Frank. I don't think it's important to get rid of the fear or get rid of anything for that matter. But is an opportunity to sort of look into it, into the fear, into the significance of the event, and look into what is going on. So there is an understanding. An important understanding is that love, truth, does not die, and that what we love in our mother or in our partner or in anybody that we love, in our pet, is not so much the presence of the other, but it's the love which is the other, the love manifesting as the other. So the love that manifests through your mom, that you sense, that you experience, is that which you love. This is what you call my mom. You don't call your mom the 120, 130 pound body or the color of her hair, or what you call your mom in the deepest sense is the love that you share with your mom, the love that you feel with your mom, whether you are with her or whether you are thinking of her or whether you're hearing about her, you experience that love. Now, it is true that the forms, they come and go. The shape of the body itself comes and goes. Our pets, after a few years, they get old and we lose them. That's part of the natural process. And because we are the natural process, meaning we are integral part of the natural process, we have that understanding that all what appears disappears, because we are part of that. We are that process in a certain sense. So it makes no sense to fight against that process, to sort of wish the process to be otherwise, because this process is what we are, is the realm, the phenomenal realm. So it makes no sense to argue with the phenomenal realm of our loved ones passing, or this actual body that we call Magdi or Frank passing. But the understanding is the understanding of that which does not pass. That which does not pass is the globality, the totality, the wholeness. So like you can look, for example, at the clouds in the sky. There is a cloud that looks like an angel, and you love this cloud. after a while, maybe a day or a few hours or a few minutes, you look up and the cloud is no longer there. That cloud is no longer there. Maybe there is another cloud in the shape of a goat, or there are no clouds. And a few days later, there's another cloud in the shape of a dragon. Who knows? At that level, this is how it is. At the level of appearance, there is that aspect of things changing. And so, one thing that does not change is the love. Is what the reality of our experience. So I think with your mom, it's very important that you realize that it's the love that is there. The love is within you and within her. You are both. This love that we call mom and that she calls Frank, my son. Now, when you are with your mom and you have the fear that you're going to lose her, she will experience that through you. She will, in some way, she will experience your fear. And because it is inevitable that her body, all bodies are going to pass, you present her with an impossible task, Frank. You are asking her to stay, to somehow go against the death of the body, because she loves you so much. And she loves you so much that she doesn't want you to feel upset and feel afraid or something. So deep down in her heart, because she senses your fear, she wants to stay. She wants to stay in the form, in the body form, but she cannot do it because, okay, 89, 90, 91, 95, at some point, that body is going to die. So you are asking her to do something very impossible, Frank. And it's very hard for her. It's very hard. You follow?
Yes, I do follow that. Yeah, I do follow that. Yeah, it's just, I guess I'm afraid of the emotions that are going to come up when she does pass away. And I have to realize, I was talking to a friend today who said, how do I know that I'm going to feel that way? Because I'm imagining that I'm just going to fall to pieces and, and not be able to go on. But I know that's not the case, but it just feels that way. So I have this, it's almost like a childish fear I have.
Yeah, statistically speaking, we can expect that we are going to feel a sense of loss and sorrow, sadness, but we don't know. I remember when my mom passed, it's just my case. I was so happy. I was so happy that she left this carcass. She left that sack of bones. I was happy, and I actually was like really happy. And but then I remember later, I don't remember when later, not too long later, I was with a client and he asked me, "Hey, Magdi, how are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine. My mom, passed a couple of months back." And as I said that, I started sobbing, So, and he was, "Oh, Magdi, I'm sorry, So here, we don't know, we don't know how it will manifest. But for sure, in my case, I felt that my mom was sort of freed, had freedom from the gravity, from how gravity pulls on the body. It's at some point, I mean, good riddance. I'm not talking about your mom. I'm talking in general. Good of the body. It's okay. Good enough. You drive the car for. But yeah, and I feel well. Let's say on occasion, I feel a sweetness. It's a sweet sorrow, a sweet sadness, a certain memory of my mom, or a feeling. It's hard to describe. It's more like 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 a scent, or a sense of my mom, would arise, and her kindness and her smile and how much she cooked. My God, she cooked. She every time she saw me, she wanted to feed me. She was just, she had a thing about feeding me, and so is there is a sweet sadness, which is a recollection of the love and of the good times, the fun times we had together, and how hard her life was. Very hard in a way. There was an aspect of her life that was very difficult, and so I have also like sort of a sense for that, like, oh goodness, what you went through. But each one of us has our path, and our path is part of the big display, the big order, larger order. We don't know what exactly, how it goes and how it but I think whatever you don't know, whatever you will feel, you will see how you are with it, Frank. You would I think that like all human beings like all human beings may experience a sense of loss and sadness, and wishing her the peace, and the love remains.
Yeah. There's, I think something in me wants to know. I know it's really probably impossible to know. You might know. I don't know. I know most people don't know what happens after this world, after what we call this world. My guess is that we just go back to we're always the way we've always been, because there's no birth or death, right? So we're really always just awareness. But there's a part of me that's always thinking, I hope I see my loved ones, the ones that I really want to see, because some of them I don't want to see, but the ones that I want to see, after this passing. Is there anything at all like that beyond this? Once we go through this belief of being in a body, is there any kind of awakening where we see people from our past and see loved ones and stuff? Any of that at all or not?
Well, Frank, on a fruit tree, on the apple tree, there are hundreds of apples, or maybe thousands of apples, and every apple is particular in its shape and its form, and so all of us, all the different shapes and forms of the body that the body takes, is the forms and shapes of God. So once you recognize that all of us are that light, that same light, taking on, the light takes on different forms, the form of this body, the form of Frank's body, the form of your mom's body, etc. So then you realize that, okay, all forms are that. All forms are that same reality. So in terms of your question, what's going to happen to form A? Will form A continue to be form A and reappear again as form, or will I, form B, meet form A at some point in time and space? This model, I don't think this model really applies when you look at it. When you look at our experience right now, your true face has no form. Your true face has no form. And yet there is a form when you look in the mirror, or when you look at the shape of your hand, there is a form. But your reality is not a form. So the form it keeps changing. Try to remember what your hand looked like when you were 7 years old. I mean, is it the same hand that now? No, it's not the same hand. Try to remember what you looked like when you were 12 years old. I don't know if you have a picture or something. You look at the picture now of Frank's face. Is it the same face? No, it's not. So which is a form that you say your mom is? You say you want to revisit, or let's say, do I connect again with my mom, for example, if that's a question. Which mom? Your mom of the mom that was age 12, 15, 18, 70, 80? Which mom are you talking about? I don't know if you see what I'm saying. Is in fact, your mom is not the body. You know, your mom is all of these bodies, but it's not any particular body. So then that brings us to what is truly your mom. But you cannot know that, but you can know what is truly Frank. What is truly Frank? Because there's no difference between the reality of Frank and the reality of mom. The reality of Frank, when you come to it, is one reality. It's not two. It's one reality. It's the love, the truth, the beauty, the presence, the awareness, whatever, you know. That's the same reality of your mom. The same reality of your mom. So it's the same reality. We get together in the garden. We get together in the garden. We play together in the sandbox. So you and your mom, you came together in the sandbox. You played together for 8 years, 9 years, whatever. You played together in the sandbox, and then you went away. You know, like when you go play the sandbox, after a while you go back home. In a way, it's like that. It's not like, oh, well, when is my mom going to come and play in the sandbox again? You know, we are always playing in the sandbox, which is God's sandbox of being. And the best game, the most fun game to play in the sandbox is to recognize the game, to recognize that this appearance, this play of Magdi and Frank and all our friends here is, we are the garden. We are God's garden. It's God's garden right now that we are celebrating the love, the beauty. And it is as the love that we are never separate. But as separate bodies come and go, dime a dozen. It doesn't matter. It's like in your night dreams. In your night dreams, there are so many things you dream. You dream of so many things. They constantly change. They're irrelevant. It's the same way the waking state. It is not the shape and form that we love. It is the love that we love. And that, you never lose it. You never lose that. And if you are looking to experience a duplicate of your mom in some other lifetime or whatever it is, then at what you want to meet her when she's 10 or when she's 12, or you want to be reborn again as your mom's son? You want to go back to the fetus and be your mom's son again and re-experience your mom? Or you just want to meet your mom when she's 48, she was looking very beautiful and attractive, and you follow?
Yes, I do follow. Wow, yeah, that's a trip. Yeah, I can see that. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, which mom mean?
Yeah. How old will she be when I meet her again?
Right.
So
like,
all these people, and how old? So these people that are like Magdi, all these people that you hear about, these so-called mediums who talk to the dead, and they tell their family all these things that they're being told by the dead people. Is that all? That's got to be a bunch of crap, then, right? That's just total fabrication, right?
I wouldn't say that, Frank. I am open to the possibility that all realms of mind, because what I mean by realm of mind is, like, right now, this is mind, this conversation is mind, this perception is mind. I use the term mind to refer to the experience, what is experienced. So all realms of mind, past, present, future, all realms of mind, because of the curvature of time-space, they occur, they don't occur linearly. So, you know, like in scientific theory, where you take a piece of paper and you fold it in a certain way, and then they touch each other. So there could be a connection between the past and the future in this curvature of time, in the curvature of time and space. So I am open to the possibility that within the realm of infinite possibilities, there is the possibility of a certain mind having access to another mind in different time and space. In other words, I'm open to the possibility of somebody in 2021 having access to the mind of somebody in 1218. I'm open to that possibility, because at the realm of manifestation, there's infinite possibilities. And what do you say, like the omnipotence, God's omnipotence, in the religious term, they talk of God's omnipotence. So I don't discount the possibility of a certain mind having access to other minds, because in fact, all minds are manifesting within the one space of awareness. And because the space of awareness is one, there is the possibility of a certain current from the Indian Ocean somehow making its way to the Pacific Ocean and meeting a different current, like a warm current from the Indian Ocean coming and meeting a different current in the Pacific Ocean. So it is a possibility, given that the realm of consciousness, or the realm of the natural realm, the cosmic realm, is one. But this does not imply that there is any particular person, any personal power of a certain mind that can travel across certain times and space, and it's just that there is a certain in certain occasions currents that are meeting, and so you may find somebody in 2021 who is, to use the term channeling, who's basically sharing a mind experience of somebody across a different time or different space. Yeah, that's a possibility. But
interesting. Magdi,
yeah.
oh, good. I just want to ask you a question, because I know other people may want to ask questions. I want to ask just one more. Is that okay?
Yeah.
In relation to this. So I studied Christian Science for a long time, and Mary Baker Eddy, I'm sure you know who she is, right? She's the founder of Christian Science.
Who is it again?
Anyway,
yeah.
Mary Baker Eddy, she founded Christian Science, because I used to practice that religion years ago.
You mentioned her once before. I remember.
Yeah, and she her belief about death was that you, depending on where you were upon death, you would wake up in people were like be crying over your body. You would be waking up in a body very much like your own that you had there, in another realm. And then other people would be like there waiting to see you and stuff. That's what she believed that. Would that be any kind of, from your teachings, does that fit into anywhere in the teachings that you are familiar with?
My sense about the death of the body is that the death of the body doesn't, and the death of the brain, of course, doesn't mean the death of mind. Meaning that there are mind impressions that appear in the brain. The brain is sort of registers or correlates mind activity at large. So there is a mind activity that is that registers in the brain, but is not arising from the brain. So the death of the brain does not signify the death of mind. Now, when we say mind, what are we referring to? When I say mind, I'm referring to experience, meaning dreams, experience, even this waking dream experiences, perceptions, sensations, feelings, memories, etc. But I also, within mind, there is also another aspect of mind, which is we refer to as ignorance, meaning the belief that I am, the belief that's as part of the mind, that I am a limited personal self, that I am dead when the body dies. That belief, which is an aspect of the mind, which we call ignorance. So the death of the body does not necessarily imply the death of the mind, nor the death of ignorance. So mind at large is operating. It's obvious that it's operating because all sorts of people have died, all sorts of bodies have died, millions of them have died, and yet mind goes on. It's still going on. And the death of a body does not, of many bodies, does not mean the end of ignorance. What I'm bringing this conversation to is that there is the death of the body does not mean the end of the sense of personal, of self. Now, there is an error in the understanding where we assume that the sense of self resides in the body, that the sense of self, the me sense, the sense of me, belongs to the body. It does not belong to the body. It appears in the body as a feeling or as an emotion, but it does not belong to the body. It belongs to the mind at large. So believing that the sense of ignorance or the sense of me belongs to the body, because of that belief, we conclude that when the body dies, this me, the sense of me, this me is gone somewhere, and where is the sense of me going to be reborn? Is it going to be reborn as this, as that? Is it going to be reborn here, be reborn there? That is an erroneous thinking. The reason for this erroneous thinking is because of the belief that the sense of me belongs to the body. The sense of me does not belong to the body. It appears in the body, it registers in the body, but it belongs to the mind at large.
So Magdi, so that idea that Mary Baker Eddy put forth in her books that the person would be dying in one place where people would be grieving over the body, and that the person would be waking up in a body just exactly like it in some other realm. I don't know what you meant by another realm, but I don't know. But so that would be totally that. That doesn't make sense, right?
No. What realms? I don't know. Look. Okay. The realms of mind are infinite. Infinite. There is, of course, the realm of the human mind, but there is also the realm of the ant's mind. There is the realm of the caterpillar mind. There is the realm of the mind of the electron. There is a realm of the mind of gluons. There is a realm of the mind of infinite universes, which we do not know. But what we know of is that we know of the realm of mind, of the human mind, and which we all have we all share. We also aware that the human mind is not the ultimate mind. There are other minds. The fish doesn't perceive like we perceive, or the caterpillar doesn't perceive like we perceive. So obviously there are other realm of other minds. We're aware of them. But we are also aware of a key aspect in the realm of the human mind, which is the realm of ignorance, of identification. So when we're talking about death, because this is what your question was about, death is always related to two things: the death of the body and the death of me. And when we're talking about rebirth, or whatever her name, Mary, her, when she's talking about rebirth, she's talking about the rebirth of the body and rebirth of the mind, of the me. So it's very specific. Her statement and your question is very specific. And we're not, so the rebirth of the body and of the mind, when we say it is going to be reborn in another realm, in fact, the body dies, but does the mind die is the question. Yes, the mind dies if we assume that the mind resides in the body or is a function of the body. There has been no evidence that the mind is a function of the body. There is evidence that the brain and the body registers mind, registers perceptions, sensations, emotions. But there is no evidence that the source of mind is the body, is the body and the brain. So it's a big jump to say that the death of the body means the death of the me, meaning the mind, and that the mind is going to be reborn in another realm. Now, in the non-dual teaching, we speak of the death of ignorance. And in the teaching, we say this waking dream, this life, is your opportunity, or the realm of a human experience, where your task is to awaken to truth. And for awakening to the truth, ignorance must die. The sense of separation must die. The me, the sense of me, and the belief that I am the body-mind has to die. So we do speak of death in the Advaitic teaching, but we do not talk about the death of the body, which obviously is not a topic of interest in Advaita. The topic of interest is the death of ignorance. So and that is the death of ignorance within the mind. The death of ignorance within the mind, which is what the sages, is not the death of the mind. It is the death of ignorance. Mind at large is not ignorant. At the local impression, which means at the belief impression, not at the local impression, but the belief impression, it is ignorant. So the death of ignorance does not signify the death of the mind at large. Now, the question may be, well, what happens to the mind at large if the body dies? Nothing does. Nothing happens to the mind to the mind at large as the body dies. But in the realm of mind, go ahead.
Magdi, a quick question about that. Now, you say that, does the mind, is there recognition by that mind of the body that's, oh, I thought I had a body, but I really didn't? Is there that kind of recognition upon
absolutely. That? There is a recognition upon the death of ignorance that I thought I am the body, but I realize that I am nothing and everything, that my body is the universal body, is the cosmic body, and that my mind is the cosmic mind. Yes, there is that lived understanding. It's sort of a shift in your sense of physicality to a sense of universality. And both at the somatic level, at the body level, and at the mind level, there is a dissolution of all the structures so that your mind is boundless, is a universal mind, it's like a cosmic mind. There is still a local field of mind, but there are no, it's like horses. When you have horses in a corral, it's a big prairie, but the horses are inside the corral, the fences. When you remove the fences, the horses, they're still somewhere in that big prairie, but their field of experience is the entire prairie. They can go wherever they want, as a metaphor.
Interesting, Magdi. Thanks. That takes away some of the fear I was talking about earlier. For some reason, because it gives me a sense of continuity, and I think that's what I'm looking for, is a sense of continuity, that it's just not an abrupt end to everything we know. There's some kind of continuity, and then but maybe a dissolution at the end of it's all one, so that feeling of separateness finally dissolves, and at some point, but still at death, there's still some continuity that keeps that identity going until it just dissolves altogether into the oneness.
Yes,
that's the way I'm understanding it now. That gives me a sense. That really gives me a little bit of peace.
Yes. Think of it this way, Frank, that there is a reality to our experience. Okay. Now, whatever is not real in our experience, who cares about it? I don't care about it, But obviously, there is reality. Whatever it is, okay, whatever it is, there is reality. Reality does not die. And who cares about what dies? I mean, who cares about what dies? Because whatever dies is meant to die. I mean, look at you at night. Every night you go in, you dream a million things, you wake up, they're all gone. Where is yesterday? Think about yesterday, Frank, okay? The beautiful meal you had at lunch yesterday. Where is it? Gone, completely gone. And you don't care about it, right? You don't care about it. You don't care about lunch yesterday. So this is really fascinating because, we make a big deal about, not dying or what's going to happen after death. Everything is dying every second. But there is one thing which does not die: reality. Now we say, well, what's reality? Well, we all know in our experience what reality is. Consciousness, awareness. It has no name, no age, nothing. It's not an object. So, anyways, just another, I just wanted to mention that reality is eternal. You see, love is eternal.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good, Magdi. Thank you so much. It's been a really good conversation for me.
Okay,
it's helped me a lot.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot.
Thanks again.
My best to your mom. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. So, any questions?
Magdi, I think Marie raised her hand.
Oh, yes, Marie. Oh, yes. Hello, Marie. Let me see. You can unmute yourself or... Yes, hello, Marie. Okay, yes, now you are unmuted. So,
Thank
yes.
you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I do hear you. Thank you, Holger.
Thank you, Holger. Yeah, I think this is related to the last person who was speaking, because there's also the fear of being alive, which I think is perhaps it's the same. It's the like I can often have a lot of anxiety in my body, and the thoughts that feed that. Any number of fears. I don't have the fear of death itself. I do fear the process of dying, because that sounds unpleasant and you can't predict like what that's going to look like. But just on an everyday level, I can sit with I just have a lot of fear or feeling an insecurity about, being alive, I guess, in a body. It's a pretty, obviously it's an insecure, because,
Yes.
because anything could happen, but also it's just a feeling of, it's the flip side of depression, because depression is like you're falling through a dark hole, or like an endlessly falling tunnel, I guess. And then when I come out of that feeling, then there's the anxiety. So it can flip-flop between those two things.
Yes. You need to understand, Marie, that it's inevitable, as long as we believe that we are the body mind, that I am Marie, that I'm a person, that a daughter, a sister, whatever. As long as you consider yourself that I am the body mind, then you're going to experience that. You're going to experience whatever is going on through the body mind, whatever is impacting upon the body mind, whatever energetic changes in vibrations and this unseen aspects that are going on within the body mind, that are occurring for the body mind. As long as you believe yourself to be Marie, you are going to feel that these things are happening to you. They're not just appearing to you, they're happening to you. There's a difference between something appearing to you. You could be sort of looking at a fire, it's appearing to you, but when it's happening to you, it's a big difference between something appearing to you and something happening to you. Now, something happening to you is it's a belief. And I don't mean just by saying it's a belief to diminish, the weight of that and the impact of that. I'm not saying, it's no big deal, it's just a belief. I don't mean it this way. I mean, to right now, this perception is appearing to you, right? It's appearing to you. So you are the perceiver of this perception. And in a way, you are the witness of this perception. It's like when you go and you go to a movie, you see, you are seeing a movie, you're seeing all sorts of events happening, but nothing is happening to you, right? I mean, it seems like something's happening to you because you identify with the movie, you know, you want the young girl to be loved by her parents, and why are they ignoring her? You identify, right? So, but in fact, outside of the identification with the movie, nothing is happening to you. You're not, you're not in the movie, you see. Now, the concerns, the worries, the fears, they don't arise to you when you're in deep sleep. In deep sleep, you're as happy as a goose. But when you wake up and there is a thought that may arise to you, oh my God, will I get this or that tomorrow, or will this or that happen to me tomorrow? And this thought is also an image that's appearing to you. In a way, it's just a thought appearing to you. But inside this thought, there is, will the lion catch me tomorrow? Will I lose my friend, my partner tomorrow, whatever? So inside the thought, there is a you, a Marie. There is a Marie. And this Marie that's inside the thought, you are perceiving the thought. You are seeing the thought. You are seeing the thought that inside the thought there is Marie. Now, it can't be that there are two of you. It can't be that there is you that is perceiving the thought, and also you that is inside the thought. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, you are the one that is perceiving the thought. You're not inside the thought. But because you believe you are inside the thought, okay, then you are looking at the thought, and the thought is saying, my God, Marie is going to lose her car, or whatever. I mean, I'm just, So because you believe you are the Marie inside the thought, you believe the thought. You believe that, yeah, that's what's going to happen. That may happen tomorrow. And so you, awareness, you become concerned. And you are right. You are correct in being concerned. Why? Because we want to protect Marie. We love Marie. We don't want anything. We don't want Marie to lose her car or her partner to leave her, or God knows what's going to happen to Marie. We don't want that. So we become concerned, and we start thinking of how we're going to prevent this awful thing from happening to Marie. But you know what? There is nothing that we can do to save this Marie, because this Marie doesn't exist. So in a way, without knowing it, we are between a rock and a hard place, a hard place between a rock and a difficult situation. We are in a bad place because we really love Marie. We want to help Marie. We want to save Marie, but there's no way we can do it. There is nothing available to us to do to save Marie, because Marie doesn't exist. So we start thinking, we start creating imaginary deeds, imaginary help. We resort to the realm of thinking, and because we are feeling that we want to save this Marie now, we are feeling unhappy. And now we have two things to deal with. We've got to deal with how we're feeling, which is now we have contractions within our body. We're nervous, we're worried, our heart is beating. We have to deal with that, and we have to deal with saving Marie. Okay, what's the way around this? I mean, that's the way around this. You know, okay, a couple of things. First, we need to understand. You must understand that you are this aware presence. You are the awareness that is right now hearing these words, and that this, whatever it is that is hearing the words, these words has no name, no gender, no age, no mother, no father, no grandfather, no friends, no partner, no nothing. It is not in the realm of physicality. That the awareness is not an object, it is not a thing that's going to get better or worse, it's going to improve. You need to come to that understanding. You need to come to this understanding. Okay, because that's the truth. I'm not inventing a story for you. You need to come to this understanding. Even if you need to come to this understanding 1,000 times, who cares? Come to this understanding 1,000 times. 5,000 times, come to this understanding 5,000 times. Who cares? As long as you come to this understanding. Why? Because this understanding is truth. I am this aware presence. Now, what happens when the thought arises about Marie and I feel, oh my God, you know, I feel caught up and identified with the thought and with the Marie that's inside the thought? Well, we're going to experience, it's impossible, because you love Marie, it's impossible for you not to experience some concern and some worry. And sometimes it's very difficult to return to presence, to return to, I am this aware presence. Okay, so then you're caught in the feelings, You know, there is the practice of surrender. They go hand in hand. Surrender means, okay, fine, I can feel this way. I can feel anxious. I can feel worried. I can feel totally like this inside, you know. And in the surrender, there is the space. There is a space of awareness that's available even at the heart of the feeling. So when there is a worry and a concern, the mind focuses on the worry and the concerns and says, I got to get rid of it. I gotta fix it. I've got to cure it. I've got to get rid of it, or else something's going to happen to me. There is another approach. The other approach is, I am going to go to this feeling. I'm going to go to this feeling, and I'm going to open myself completely to this feeling. This is a new approach. It's worth a try. I mean, we've tried for many years to fix our feelings. Since after all, here we are, might as well, we can try. So we try to go to that feeling, to allow this feeling. Say, okay, I am coming to you as a friend. I am coming to you to recognize you, find out, you know, hello, who are you? And I'm open to you, open to you. This is a path that's also available to you. It may seem difficult initially. It's worth a try. It becomes easier with time, so that this feeling, which seems to be, I gotta save Marie, in this imminent sense of threat, slowly you realize that it's just some sort of sound, some inner sounds, some inner vibrations within the body. But in order to see the neutrality of this feeling, you have to go to it. You have to go to it openly, willing to have that feeling reveal itself. Trust me, it is not going to hurt you. Trust me, it's not going to hurt you. You're going to find a totally unexpected space within that feeling. But you have to go to it. You have to go to it without a club behind your back, your back. You have to go to it without an intention that you want to get rid of it, that you want to kill it. No, because it will sense that. It's going to sense, you don't mean it. You don't really mean it. You're coming to trick me. And you cannot trick me because I'm you see. But you have to go to it because it's there. Go to it and invite it. Invite yourself. It's worth a try. There is no solution via thinking. You cannot think your way out of yourself. You cannot think your way out of your very thoughts. But you can understand what I'm saying. See? And that's not thought, that's understanding. And what you have available to you, Marie, 24/7, is awareness. You are not the Marie story. The Marie story belongs to the body-mind, belongs to your country, to your village, to your parents, to whatever. It belongs to the body-mind. The body is called Marie. Okay? This body Marie was 5-year-old, then he was 6 years old, then he was 8 years old, 10, 12, 15. Different bodies keeps changing. That's Marie, the body-mind Marie. It has nothing to do with you. Because you is only one you. And it's the reality that hears these words, which we refer to as presence, awareness, conscious, whatever. The reality. So let the past be the past. You don't need to continue the narrative. I know that there is a narrative going on in the whole culture. Hello, how are you? Oh yeah, what do you do? What's your name? Where do you live? Oh, what's your religion? What do you believe in life on other planet? That's a narrative. I know the whole world, all human beings are involved in narratives about they want to pin a narrative, and you pin yourself as a narrative. That's an add-on. And that relates to the body-mind. It does not relate to what you truly are. To free yourself, to become free from the bubble of the narrative is very important. I'm not saying about negating the narrative. There is no problem with the body Marie being female, being named Marie, having a sister, mother, whatever. There's no problem with that. I'm talking about what you are. I'm talking about the reality of our experience. The reality of our experience is not a narrative. When you say I, be very clear what you mean by I. Are you referring to Marie, the body-mind, that you're calling I? Or are you referring to I, that which is calling the body-mind Marie, that which is perceiving? And in your body, allow everything to unfold in your body, mind. No borders, no borders. Sensations in your arms, in your hands, your shoulders, your belly, your back. Just allow the sensations to be. Remain open to the sensations. Let them flow without any borders. Open your belly. Allow the breath and the sensations to flow out through your belly into the space, into the entire space. No dams, no walls, no barriers. So you are like the river, like the riverbed, available to the flow. Nothing to hold on, no holding on. Wherever you notice a holding on, just invite it to release, to free itself, to be invited to the freedom, to be free, be, flow. No force, no effort, just very gently, very, very effortlessly. This way the energy can flow whichever way it's being designed to flow. It can flow through this body-mind. Yes. Yes. You can relax your shoulder, your hands. Relax your legs. Relax, release. Like you are carried by the angels. Okay. Well, thank you all. Jenny, hey, Holger, Marie, Holly, Elizabeth, George, Esther, Zoe, Kelly, Mary. Hello, Marie.
Thank you.
Hello, Maria. Holly.
Thank you, Magdi.
Hello, Holly. Yes, and John. And Frank. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thanks, Maggie.
Thank you.
you.
Thanks, Magdi. Thanks, Marie.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye, Maria.
Bye.